Hello, everybody. I am an oncologist who treats cancer patients mainly with chemotherapy in Korea. I would like to tell the stories about cancer treatment and patients in this channel. I had put the word chemotherapy in Korean at the search box of the YouTube before I started to make the video clips in Korean. And the first automatic completion of search words were chemotherapy and sushi. That's why I made my first video clip about eating sushi during the chemotherapy. Although the contents in Korean and English are not exactly same. My second video clip in Korean has the title of Chemotherapy is cheating? Because that was the most shocking sentence for me among the list of automatic completion of search words when I put the word 항암 치료, which means chemotherapy in Korean. I have searched chemotherapy at the search box in English as well. And I found that the list of automatic completion of search words with chemotherapy in English felt like more academic than in Korean. Although chemotherapy drama or vlog show up in the upper part of the list, following words were mechanism of chemotherapy or chemotherapy-induced nausea vomiting, chemotherapy-induced peripheral neuropathy, and so on. I felt like the Korean list of such words related with chemotherapy is a little bit more emotional. Although I am not sure because I am not a bilingual person or have no experience of living or working in the English-speaking world. Let's move to the main issue. I did not watch those video clips insisting the chemotherapy is a kind of fraud or scam. Because I am an oncologist, the doctor who treats cancer patients with chemotherapy every day, and I was not sure that I could stay stable emotionally after watching those kinds of video clips. There are so many provocative clips in various SNS. Instead of watching those videos, I just try to guess that why people search it and watch it such kind of video clips that much. Just because those are provocative and sensational? No, I don't think so. Of course, there would be some people like that. But most of them would be cancer patients or their family members. They really want to know whether the chemotherapy is cheating or not. They need something to rely on and have a lot of fear about the chemotherapy. There are many alternative therapies in Korea. We call them like folk remedies or oriental therapies or traditional medicine and so on. And some people rely on such things or natural healing remedies. There even have been patients who asked me just to take the CT scanning regularly without receiving chemotherapy because they wanted to know the effect of their own natural healing remedies. Such happening made me awkward a lot because Korean healthcare system is giving substantially financial benefit, especially to cancer patients with money from all of Korean people. So I often have some dilemma between sense and sensibility. Let's go back to the main issue. Is the chemotherapy cheating or scamming? I finally got to be able to imagine that some people could feel like that. Because the approval of anti-cancer drugs is based on the median survival rate. The median concept is like ranking system. The middle rank of a class is the criteria. Passing the midline criteria could decide the approval of a drug. The approval of a drug, especially which is expensive and has many potential customers, yes, many indicated cancer patients in this case, is very important to pharmaceutical companies, of course. And there is a reason of why rare cancers have seldom many options like other major cancers. We cannot just criticize them because they have invested so much of capital and human resources to develop a new drug, and the most of drug trials fail with sunk costs. So the median concept has the range of ranking in a class. Usually in Korea, till the high school, if we are in the same class, we listen to all the same subjects with the same timetable and teachers. Let's imagine such a class. Although all the same sessions of lessons were given to 50 classmates, if we'll rank them according to some test, there would be scores from the first rank to the 50th rank. The approval of a drug is decided by the score of the 25th rank. And the batting average of most anti-cancer drugs do not exceed 50%. 20 to 30% of response rates are not that bad in this area. There was a drug combination which had been approved with just 1 week survivor gain based on statistical significance. To put it the other way around, probability of death would be quite high in the case of cancer recurrence or metastasis. All of the medical practice is a kind of trade-off. A trade-off between the benefit and risk, sometimes even including cost. Doctors just predict the trade-off and make decisions. There is no 100% perfect calculator in this world yet. Now, how would you feel if you are the last 50th rank? You could feel like your doctor cheated you or you got scammed. You could not know the result when you were listening to the classes or studying, and only can know after 1 semester and taking a test. I was a little bit nervous after I explained the median concept like this in Korean, although this explanation is very intuitive and exact, because many Korean people usually have been stressed by their school ranking or scores of tests. But I could understand why some people say chemotherapy is cheating by reminding this basic concept of drug trials and approval. We hardly predict the rank of an individual patient in advance. Nowadays, we have some predictive markers, but those are not that precise. And in most cases, we have no other way than just trying. A patient who received a bad result report after some courses of chemotherapy might think that the chemotherapy is fraud. If she or he used the expensive drug, it could feel like a scam. Like I told you in the previous video clip, the prototype of chemotherapy was chemical murder weapon. Recently, there show up some new classes of anti-cancer drugs like targeted therapy or immunotherapy. But still, we need those poisons as well, because the indication range of targeted therapies are so narrow and the response rates of immunotherapies are not that high. I sometimes imagine like this. After about 300 years from now on, people may say like this: how dare they give such poison to patients? Unbelievable. It might be similar that the pre-modern medical practices like bloodletting surprise us who are living in the modern contemporary times now. But we cannot live the future. We don't have another way other than to choose the best and latest standard treatment at the moment. Recently, Korean dramas are globally popular. Some of K-drama have very provocative stories. Several years ago, one of them had a line like this, and it had been a gossip among the Koreans for a while. That line was, "Cancer cells are also life." Actually, it is true in science. Cancer cells have more powerful life force than normal cells. They even can move to any part of the bodies to survive and thrive. That too much strong life force of cancer cells destroys normal cells, tissues, and organs of cancer patients. We call it metastasis, and metastasis in the vital organs can kill the patient. The averages of median survivors are different according to the kind of cancers. I think that I could have a chance to tell about the kind of cancers one day. Breast cancer or lung cancer has several subtypes. Nowadays, they recruit patients with the same type of cancer for a clinical trial to examine the efficacy or toxicity of a specific drug or drug combination. The median survivor is affected by both of the original biology of cancer type itself and given chemotherapy drug. So, it is important to know the pathologic diagnosis as much as to know the drug you use. Yes, these are too complicated to understand for cancer patients who even are in emotional shock. But I would like to tell you that don't give up in advance, even before the start of chemotherapy. And on the other hand, sometimes it is better to stop the chemotherapy rather than to keep going because of the risk-benefit trade-off in medicine. And I recommend to appeal your own opinion about the life and death to your doctor when you have the disease having rare chance of cure. You may have to begin with having time to make your own opinion for the first time. I hope peace in your soul and body. 여러분의 영혼과 육신의 안녕을 바랍니다.